Good to see you guys back. We are ready to get this thing rocking. We're going to start the marketing strategy breakdown, and then we're going to go into pricing agenda topics. We're going to first talk about what not to do. Then we're going to talk about case study with Masterclass, Skillshare, Mindvalley, Ad Skills. Then we're going to talk about some best practices, and we're going to get into a book. It's not necessarily, there's a book by the name Product-Led Growth. Great book, highly suggested. I've already told you guys about it. However, it is a concept or strategy that is widely taught by many other people. That book is just probably one of the better written books on the subject, but it's a much wider subject. All right, so what not to do. Now, I'm not telling you guys you can't do these things. You're welcome. It's your business. I'm not Judge Dredd used to say, I am the law, I'm not that. All right. If you want to do it, you can do it. I'm just telling you what I don't see in this industry. I'm looking at the top companies, not just the top companies, but the ones under them and the ones under them, all the way down to the bottom. It's just not something that they do. Right. The VSL was invented to help sell things that are hard to sell. As we go through this and we see the marketing and the pricing strategies, you will see this is not a hard to sell thing. If it's hard to sell, you're doing it wrong, and you just don't need that much firepower. Okay, which then goes into webinar funnels. Webinar funnels were specifically brought around when people started selling like $2,000 and up products. Really, it became super popular when people started selling masterminds and $10,000 courses and big high ticket programs. A webinar was made specifically for that. Your metrics are going to be horrible if you try to do a webinar to a $19.99 a month type of product. Even if you went to annual, I'm not saying you can never do it. I think it might be something good to do middle of funnel. You may have something in your autoresponders, but it shouldn't be your main way to promote this thing. It's just, again, it's you don't need it. Same thing with product launch formula. You could launch it once with this and do your annual, but again, it's just not, you don't see any of these things done. All of those things are done in the traditional course selling, high ticket coaching, mastermind. This is not that. There was another question that was asked about, should I sell $100 pillar courses and then use this as a back end? You're welcome to do that. It's your business. You can run it however you want. That's just not this business model. You're going to struggle to sell it. You're going to have tracking problems. You're not going to get the ease and smoothness of this systemized process that I'm trying to bring to you guys. Long form sales letters. Again, you can do it if you want to. I do have one for Ad Skills, but that was when we were selling the annual at $500. So that is a harder to sell item. Also, in my market, that is a bit of an expected form of marketing. It's like, if I'm not doing that, they think I'm not a good entrepreneur. It's like, I've literally had people say that I'm not that good of a marketer. My prices don't even end in 7. I've literally had to delete emails because I can't reply to that email. Jesus don't want me to reply to that email, trust me. So I just hit the delete button on that one. And so sometimes you have to do the marketing that your market expects to see, because otherwise you create a dissonance, and so you don't want to do that. And so I have done that for Ad Skills. It's not something you see in other markets. All right, so let's talk about what we do see. So those are the things you don't need to do. For me, that's like woo! I don't need to write another VSL or a webinar or a long form sales letter. Great. All right, let's talk about what they do. Okay, so Masterclass, their differentiation is celebrity. All right. Now, Masterclass is one of the harder ones. I think that some of you should go this route. Some of you are a little bit better marketers, a little bit have better business acumen. Your risk tolerances are different. You may even like the positioning of this, so I think some of you should do this. I think most of you should not. But I'm teaching you just so you understand the industry and what's possible. So Masterclass, their shtick is we're not just going to have just any old experts. We're going to have the experts. Like they don't just have chefs. They've got Gordon Ramsay. They don't just have tennis players. They've got Serena Williams. So that's their thing. They differentiated themselves by going after the biggest, hardest names, much slower, much more expensive, but it's paid off. 11.4 million members. Let that number hit. Okay. All right. Production. That's the other thing that they invested heavily in. They go for really high production value videos, multiple cameras, big 4K cameras, cinema quality Netflix. I think they call them like Netflix licensed or Netflix approved cameras. There's actually a line of cameras that Netflix approves of. You can't submit your content to Netflix unless you've shot with these list of cameras. They're the big, expensive ones. So they invested heavily in production quality to raise the perceived value and ensure customer satisfaction. Again, some of you will just like doing that, and that's okay. There's Linus Tech Tips, right? Linus, he's that kind of a guy. He's going to do those big high production value things. He's got the people, the equipment, the business acumen, but the rest of the tech industry is not that. They're just dudes sitting at a desk opening stuff they bought off Amazon, all right? And that's most of us, and that's okay. I'm that guy too, all right? Trailers, their main form of marketing is they'll make a nice trailer for each of their classes. And that also is how they provide that hope of future content to come, is their members can see the trailers of things that are coming soon. And that gets them hoping and wanting to stay. They take those trailers as well as clips from the lessons, and they use those out on the social media marketing channels. So that can be a way that you do your marketing. You can take clips of all these different classes, put them all over social media, shorts, reels, TikToks, all that stuff, so we can learn from them. There is a lot to learn from Masterclass. It's just their model is very different. Then we go to Skillshare. Skillshare is that's the one I've studied the most, even though it's the biggest. They walk like a small guy, right? They do things that are very relatable and easy for any of us to be able to do. Okay.
They're just really transparent.
They're transparent. Yeah. Their CEO, he's a good old boy. You can do some research on him. And they just do things that are very easy to duplicate. They just do them at a big, fast level. Okay. So they base everything off of their free trial. They made their sign up process frictionless by making it free to join. You get 7 days free. In fact, it was hard for me to go find the pricing plan just to show you guys what their prices are, because it's like you can't do anything unless you join their free trial. Okay, then their main, the way that they acquire content is from YouTubers. And they specifically have gone after the creative market, meaning the artists, the videographers, the coders, that market. And the CEO has said himself that he doesn't have interest in the business space. That doesn't mean that they don't have marketing courses and business courses. In fact, there was 600,000 people. Last time I checked, there were 600,000 people subscribed to their marketing category. So they do have it there, but it's just not their focus. It's not what they're going after. And I was like, yes.
Thank you.
Stay in your lane, man. I don't want to compete with you. So what they do is they go to YouTubers and they tell the YouTubers, hey, if you promote our platform, we'll pay you money. That's their affiliate program. Or you can also put your classes in our platform, and then we will pay you if you promote that you have a class in here. Both ways. You can get an affiliate commission, and you can earn from the watch hours of your course. So somebody was asking earlier, how does Skillshare pay out their members? Let's use easy numbers. Let's say there was 1,000 total watch hours. So the CEO takes like 30 or 20%, I forget the exact number, but he takes like 30% of their revenue. And then he's going to distribute that among the total watch hours, and how you earn your portion of that 30% is based on what percentage your watch hours are in relation to the total watch hours. So if there was 1,000 total watch hours and your videos created 100 of those 1,000 watch hours, that's 10%. So you would get 10% of that 30%. And so that's how they pay all their creators. So like I say, this is everything that they're doing is stuff that we can do.
Yeah. But like, they're also not giving you out of all profit. They're just saying a percent of profit and sharing that with the instructors. So it's not like you're getting a part of their yearly subscription or their monthly subscription. It's like, here's what Skillshare makes. We're going to take a percent of this, and then of that, we're going to share that with everyone that creates content.
Yes.
So it's a much smaller portion than most people think.
And their main marketing channel is affiliate marketing. And so while they do have some SEO and some social media and some PPC, because they're just big, the main thing that they grew off of was affiliate marketing, and their main channel of affiliate marketing was YouTubers. They got in when YouTube was kind of blowing up. They got in front of some medium tier YouTubers. Those YouTubers got big while they were promoting Skillshare. As one of the main it was like Skillshare and Wix that were big sponsors. You saw it on every channel.
And then it was Squarespace.
Audible, Squarespace, and so these guys, they got in with the YouTubers, influencer marketing, and that's how and all three of those methods are methods that any one of us can do.
Absolutely.
Okay, then we're going to go into Mindvalley. Mindvalley, their differentiation point is they focus on transformative. In fact, that message is throughout everything that they do. It's always about this message of personal growth and transformation. And that's what all their classes, their sales letters, their ads, their YouTube channels. It's like even Vishen Lakhiani, which, funny story, when I was interning for Russell, he took me to this event. Steven, I'm trying to remember Steven's last name, but we went out to Steven's house. And Stephen Pierce. Yes, we went out to Stephen Pierce's house. I was a total rookie, nobody knew who I was. And they had this like speed networking thing out in this like barn building that Stephen had on his land. So we go out there, and this young, skinny Indian guy stands up and he starts pitching this, what we would call a knowledge network for self-help, promotion, new age, and stuff like that. It was Vishen. It was when he was first starting. He was out there.
We're talking like 2009.
Yeah, many years ago. So he just is that guy. I mean, even the way he speaks, he just talks like that guy. And so that's throughout everything. Their main marketing is testimonials. The main way that they acquire people. They have testimonial ads. Most of their YouTube videos are talking about success stories, or here's what this person watched this class and got this transformation, or they did this method and they got this transformation. And so they're always carrying through that transformational thing. And then they have events. So that's the main way that they acquire their content, not necessarily their customers. They create events that their target instructors would want to come to. And so they put on this event that all the instructors want to come to and meet all the other instructors. And then from there, now that they've wowed them and given them a great event, they have their lead information. They can follow up with them and get them to be instructors on their platforms. That's another technique that any of us can do. We can create virtual summits, podcasts, and that's one way that we can get instructors into our platforms. And again, their events are transformational events. Everything is all about that transformational experience with Mindvalley. All right, let's get into, I thought we had a net skills one in here. Maybe it's a little bit later. Okay, let's go to the industry best practices. All right, so these are the best marketing strategies from across the whole SVOD industry. This is kind of the looking across what everybody was doing. I was taking the average. It's like, here's the overlapping. Now this site may do this differently and this site may do this differently. But if I looked at all of them, what were the patterns, the similarities, the overlapping things that were kind of everybody was doing? Okay, so the first thing is repurpose, using clips or even whole classes as your marketing content on social media, YouTube, and other marketing channels. Again, I told you your number one primary job is acquisition of content. That's this game. You're in a content selling game, and you're in the volume of content selling game, right? So you're marketing one class or one success story as your ad, but when they get to your landing pages, they're like, oh wow, look at all this stuff that I'm going to get access to for only $19.99. Yes, I'm in. So you want to repurpose, as you're acquiring all that content, use clips and push them out to all these different places. I want to play this video real quick. Do we have sound on? I'm going to stop the share real quick and then come back because I want to make sure I have sound on because I want to play this video for you guys. Okay. So I just told you that clips was a major marketing method that a lot of these sites are doing. Now we're going to press play on this video and we're going to watch the whole thing. It's pretty short. I think it's only 2 or 3 minutes. This tool is a mind blower and is going to help you so much.
DIY.
I heard of this website actually today, and I wanted to try it for the first time with you guys.
It's called Opus Clips and literally will create those trending videos that we've all been seeing.
You can feed it a long form video, drop a YouTube link, and you'll get clips with 1 click. Who from Kyle Beats marketing department then got over here?
Literally 2 clicks. It's perfect.
Opus Clip allows you to import a video link of a long form video and it'll turn it into 10 viral clips for free. This will allow you to create clips 10 times faster. Only people who would understand how important something like this is are people who have spent so much time editing. So what I did was I took a hour-long podcast that I had with my guy Illusion a few days ago, which I wish I had the time to cut up some clips, and now it's going to take clips from what I did and create some content. Uncovering the surprising trend of speeding up songs on TikTok.
It creates a conversation because people give their perspectives of why they think this song sounds way better if you speed it up, and pitch up gives them a different perspective and a feeling, right? But man, with
they even switched angles. They even switched angles. Hey yo. Hey yo. It even gives me a title here in the very beginning to put in the actual Instagram. Illusion gets real about fatherhood. But first and foremost, man, I know that you on daddy duty. And so I just want to make sure dad to dad, I do the first check. Hold on. It provides me a script here. The shocking truth about how his wife has shaped his career. I remember this part of the interview.
I haven't even had time to say it, but shout out my beautiful, incredible, just superstar wife 6. But yeah.
Man, how important has her support been through this journey in terms of just kind of like staying leveled, staying creative, staying into your... I think this would work a lot better with a singular angle. So it would actually be to your benefit to use something like this with a more simplistic live stream.
Quick pause. This is several months old. I've been in the Opus Clips Discord group. They have mostly solved that issue. So you can use multi-interview podcasts and stuff like that. There's a lot of things have come out. This software has just gotten better and better and continues to get better. I'm going to finish playing out this video.
But at least it's producing ideas with, like, I have choices here that I can go through now. These are YouTube shorts that I could be putting up, and I can download them in HD. Let me figure out how I can edit this. So I can now edit this clip that it chose for me, and I can go through here and determine what words that I want to get highlighted in what color. It even adds emojis. So if I say something that triggers an emoji, it'll bring it up. I said the word excited, and it put up this celebration emoji.
Puts the text on.
There's a part of me that loves this, and it's a part of me that's like, why couldn't you be around here earlier? I needed you. I didn't lost so much sleep creating content. Where were you? There's so many steps that's involved with creating content that is from other content on YouTube. First, I have to wait for the high res version of it to be processed on YouTube. Then I have to download it, which sometimes it can be like 3 to 5 gigs at a time. Then I have to go through the content, scrub through it and figure it out. And I'm not saying, oh my God, my life is so hard. I'm saying it as if I wish there were things that could speed up the process or at least cut down some of these steps.
I'm just going to say we were paying $30,000 a year to pay a person to do this for our content. Like we had hired a dedicated project manager and all she did was watch the videos, highlight areas that we wanted our video editor to then go clip, add titles. Like that was her full-time job. And this video tool does it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
that I can do more of what I truly enjoy doing. This is one of those steps that is definitely helping. So that is Opus Clip, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, next slide here. Okay, so that tool helps you a ton, saves you time. And then if you saw, there was a little score on the right-hand side, the little blue number, 99, 94, 96, whatever. That's giving you kind of a score of like how good it is. So like a 99 it's very confident that this is going to be a good clip, that you can just take it, paste it. It puts the captions on there for you, emojis on there for you, cuts it, shows the different angles for you, does all that for you. And it's just gotten better over time and continues to get better. And their free plan is very good. Most of you could just use their free plan. Okay, next method to be using is memes. Memes have just taken the internet by storm. We see them even in paid ads today. The app that I like to use for creating memes is an app called Mematic. They will also show you examples of the memes so that you can get an understanding of like, okay, what type of content would go on this picture. And that way you're using them in the correct context. So here's a couple of them. This is my friend Brian over at Samcart. He's been using memes for a long time now in his ads. And so he's leveraging the popularity of Barbie, day one of starting Creator U, you're scared, 2.5 months later with 100,000 plus followers. I forget who this one was, Life of a Digital Marketer. And it's a bunch of guys, like clients yelling at Jesus here. One of them is, deadline is yesterday. Is it launched yet? I need it by 5 p.m. And then here's one that I created. We actually ran this one as an ad, did well on social media, and then ran it as an ad as well. And so we just had, this is Goku and Piccolo, if you understand Dragon Ball Z. And so here you are, ad skills is blocking, protecting you from wasted money. And so you could use that meme in just about any market. What is the scary problem? Here's your website and your customer is here. So here's just some examples of marketing memes. There is whole blogs about marketing memes. I know there's like a mastermind now just about marketing memes. There's sales memes. There's services you can go to that already have memes made. It's become a whole industry.
ChatGPT understands memes.
It does. ChatGPT understands memes. Sometimes it gets them wrong, but for the most part, it's quite good. Yeah.
Bob, it's Mematic, Mematic.
Yes.
So
I have it spelled out.
Yeah, on the screen.
Here, Mematic. Okay, the next big method that people are using is partners. Okay, any of you old school internet marketers, we know joint ventures. Okay, and so one of the greatest joint ventures I've seen in this space was Disney paired up with Verizon. And I get it, we're using big names, big companies. It doesn't matter. You can do the same thing. As skills could have teamed up. Well, we did. Who did we team up with? We teamed up with Active Campaign for a little while, or I should say Active Campaign teamed up with Ad Skills. And so for a long time, our email, they gave us an account in exchange for every email we sent out had, Active Campaign down there. And in that time, we had sent out hundreds of thousands of emails. You figure every time we send is 20,000 plus people. We were sending multiple times per week. And so they're getting those banners seen over and over and over again. So partnerships like that was a major player. And Verizon basically helped the Disney Plus launch because it was like, if you bought a new Verizon phone, you got 3 months free of Disney Plus.
And now everybody does that because
yes,
AT&T does Paramount, and it's a whole bunch of them now.
Exclusive, having a couple of classes that no one else has is a major buying trigger. It can also help you win in the search engines. And so this should not be your main thing that you start off doing. Most of you should probably just go create 3 classes then you should probably look for a friend in the industry to create 1 or 2 classes. Then you should probably just try to hustle up 1 or 2 interviews with some maybe B or C level experts in your industry. Just start filling out your catalog of content, get some stuff going on in there so you don't look like you're not in motion. The hardest podcast to get an interview for is the podcast that has no interviews yet, right? But if you already have 5 or 7, like a lot of my friends, their rule is like, I don't want to be podcast issue number 1, but I don't mind being episode 6, and so it's like, if they don't have at least 5 episodes, they're going to not do it.
I think another thing here is like we used to hold workshops with ad skills. And so we would do, like, we did one in Boston and we had somebody come out and speak. And so like we recorded that session and put that in our members area. And so like you can get other instructors by inviting them to speak at your event and then like giving them a portion of your event sales for being a speaker.
We got a big name speaker to come out to our Jamaica event. So I made money on the Jamaica event, and I gave a large portion of our profits to just get that speaker, because I knew if I got that speaker, I could sell my event, and then I would have that content for
right
later.
And so then we got to put that speaker's name as an instructor in our members area. We got them live to our top clients, and those top clients help pay for us to pay for that speaker. So like there are other leverage points to get the content you need without having to pull it out of like your retirement account.
Yeah. So after you have about your first 10 classes, your big focus, get a really good exclusive piece of content, because that's going to be your major fishing pole out there. So like your own strength and creativity is going to get you to 100 customers in 10 classes, then get you that exclusive one, and that's going to help you rocket to 1,000 plus. All right, so here was an example of an exclusive piece of content that I myself put inside of to get started with ad skills. But then later on, I got a class from Perry Marshall, which I knew was going to be a big name in our space. And then I got Trey Llewellyn, I got Maxwell Finn, and I started using those classes to really push ad skills out there. All right, final, the old trusted, tried and true email. It is the #1 tactic that how they keep their customers coming in. So basically what you want to do is a weekly email about the new classes that are coming in and the classes that are coming soon. This is going to help encourage non-paying users to become paying and the paying ones to stay. And so that's like your regular pace. Your bread and butter is just make sure that every email that goes out is like, hey, here's a new class that we've got. Hey, here's a new class. So when we started out, I told them, I think we only had like 1 or 2 courses a month in the very, very beginning.
The very beginning, yeah.
But I told my team, I was like, we have to ramp up to 1 per week quickly, because I knew this was going to be a staple of our marketing, is that every week in our Sunday email, being able to say, hey, here's a new class we got. Hey, here's a new class we got. Hey, here's a new class. You say that to a non-buyer 6, 7 times, and they're like, man, I kind of want to watch these classes. And
not just that, but we would like leak a golden nugget.
Yes.
We would be like, oh man, so-and-so said this, and this is what the result they got from that class. And so we would give a little testimonial, we'd give a small golden nugget. So like people would stay on our list and keep taking those weekly emails because they were still getting golden nuggets, but they weren't getting the full picture. And so like that's what made that weekly email, even if they weren't customers, still valuable.
Yeah. So this whole thing that we're talking about, I think there's lots of value throughout what we're teaching here, but there's a few slides that I'd be like, print that one, and then like build off of that. So this is one of them. So this is like your marketing blueprint. This is what you're going to do to market your thing. So later on in the pricing, we're going to get to a funnel one that's going to show you how to lay out your funnel. And it's like, use this one with that one, make money. Okay. All right. Let's move along here. So this was our weekly email that we would send out. And at the top of the weekly email, it was like, here's the new class that we just published. All right. So let's go into some more of the product-led growth type of stuff. And so I want you to understand a concept called freemium. It's different than free trials. And this is why you don't need the webinars and the VSLs and the long form, because you should be pulling the person in for free. You're giving classes away, like that's your Santa Claus in the niche. All right. Every day you're Santa Claus. It's Christmas all year round. Hey guys, it's like you're on YouTube or a podcast interview, or you do a blog post. Everything you do, you push out there. Come on, join for free. We've got classes for free. And so that's freemium. Now, the difference between freemium and free trial is limited access to content for a limited time. You're getting in for free, but it's like a taste. It's a tease. You only get it for a limited. Freemium is a free level. Instead of a free trial, is you get access to this free level and you have access to it for free forever. You don't ever have to pay anything. You have this, you could go, you could leave. And so that's
think about Loom. Loom is a good example of that. You can use Loom, which is the screen recording software. You can use that for free forever. You just have to manage your library because they just give you access to the product to use it. But the only limitation is like, well, we're not going to give you unlimited storage. Like that costs money.
Right.
And so you have to manage your storage limits. Otherwise you run out of Loom time.
If you want to have longer than 45-minute meetings, you eventually have to
pay,
or you have to deal with, hey, I got to stop my interview real quick and I'll be right back with a new link. You got to do all that kind of tricks. And,
right.
So fully free. So what we did in AdSkills is we made a free level called the Academy. And that's where I taught the fundamentals of advertising. And so you could teach the fundamentals of phishing, the fundamentals of heavy machine operating, the fundamentals of esports, the fundamentals of homeschooling. So you teach your fundamentals in there and you give that away for free. And then here's the kicker. Once they come in for free, now you have their email address, so you can start dripping on new class. You can start doing all that stuff. But then once they're inside, it's a whole new world, right?
You see everything else.
Yes.
You're not hiding everything else. You're just only giving them access to that one level because that's the access level they asked for.
Right. They come in for the free 10 classes or whatever it was. Ours, I think we had like 23 classes in there, and they come in, they're like, oh, this is what I have access to. And then they see all around there. There's like, 30 other videos, and then there's interviews, and then there's free recording calls, and there's all this other stuff. No, I'm sorry, not free, but they can unlock all this other stuff that they want access to.
At the next tier of our membership.
Right. And human psychology, it can't resist that for too long. Like you come in, you're watching this free video, and you just, man, I really want to see that other one.
Not just that, but like how we structured Academy is like you could go in there and learn everything you need to get started with paid ads. So if you knew nothing about paid ads, at the end of it, you knew how to go run an ad campaign well. But then, like after that, we would follow up with, all right, you've learned the skill. Now you need to learn how to optimize. Now you need to learn how to track. Now you need mastery level, and that's at this tier. And so we made sure our freemium tier was valuable, hugely valuable, and they could have success. But then left them needing mastery.
Right, because the free tier is huge because it's going to lower your cost per acquisition. And so it's going to allow you to pull a lot of people in. And that's the key. Pull a lot of people in and then just let psychology do the rest. Okay. They're going to want to unlock the videos. Okay. The next thing is viral loops. Viral loops is having little things in your members area that makes them want to refer. You have one simple task. That is to turn every customer into 1.1 customers. Most people think, to go viral, I got to turn one customer into 10 or one customer into 3. No, viral growth, Facebook, TikTok, ChatGPT level growth is turning one customer into 1.1 customer. That means every time one customer joins, more than one customer is joining from that. And so you can Google viral coefficient, it's a K value coefficient score. And there's a whole science behind this. The math is all laid out in these blog posts, but and it shows you how to do this. So if you can do this, you will have viral growth. And we can talk about this more if you have more questions about this, but just Google viral coefficient score. And I'm telling you, there's tons of blog posts about it that talk about it way better than I can, but you want to put viral loops into your product. Then you want to be very data driven. Okay. And this is what I'm describing here is essentially the fundamentals, the basics of product-led growth. These are the ABCs of getting into the product-led growth. And what product-led growth is, so most of us, we're used to sales-led growth. We have to sell you, right? That's why we do a VSL or a webinar or a long-form sales. We got to sell you on why you should join our product. Where product-led growth is, look, I'll give you access to my product. And then, if you like it, you can unlock more of it, and that's product-led growth. So I'm just going to give you the product is going to sell itself. And these are the fundamentals, the ABCs. So data-driven is the next fundamental. You instead of guessing, you want to know your market's desires, right? We don't want to be guessing the performa or the persona. We want to know that this is their stuff. We go on Facebook, we go on Amazon, and we research our customer so that we know, instead of guess, we know our best performing assets. We know our best users are. And then finally, having a community. People come in for the videos, but they're going to stay for the community. And that's the biggest difference between SVOD and what I'm calling knowledge networks. SVOD, you just come in, watch some videos. But
yeah, like I don't know any other Netflix users, and I'm not like, hey, how did you like this video? Like, we're not chatting in Netflix about we used to be able to like more than thumbs up them, but anyhow.
Right, but in Abundance Plus, there's a whole community of like, hey, I've got extra goat fencing available. Does anybody need it?
Right.
Or hey, I'd like to hire somebody to help cut down my trees.
We even created a map of all the farms across the nation. Like, people can submit their location, and then like you can find out other Abundance Plus people in your region. Like, you can just zoom the map, and I thought that was really cool. Obviously, you can opt in or opt out of that. But like, I was able to instantly know, like in our area, we had like 52 other farmers that were in Abundance Plus, because we could start our own coffee shop meetup if we wanted.
Yes.
So
community is huge. Having a community is really going to help you a lot. You can also upsell for the community, ad skills. For a long time, it had the $19.99 a month level, and that just came with the videos. If that's all you wanted was to watch the videos, but for $49 a month, you could have the videos plus the Slack group and have access to be able to talk with the instructors. Okay, and then there's this book, Product-Led Growth. Highly recommend this book. It is great. Walks you through all these concepts, frameworks, the right questions you should be asking. It's a very process-driven.
It's not teaching knowledge network. It's teaching you how to just use the customers to grow your product.
Yes, he's very much thinks like my wife. He has every system written out. Do this first, and then do this, and then do this. Use this framework. Here's how you ask the questions. So really, really good book. There was a couple of questions, and then I'll get into this here.
Sure. First, could you please share a little bit more about broadcast emails? How many emails a week would you suggest, and the email content besides like the new course details?
Yes. So I don't love to be like I'm off living life, right? I don't want to be doing a lot of work. I want to build something that works for me, so I'm going to build a blog that starts attracting people. And then as I build a blog, I'm going to set up a $5 a day ad that brings people to the blog. So I don't have to wait around for SEO, right? Okay. So I set that up. And then on the blog, I've got email opt-in forms with free stuff that they can join, the free level. So they come into the product without me needing to be there or out there or whatever. I'm out doing whatever I'm doing. And this stuff is just happening on autopilot. They come into my email, they go through my autoresponder series. I tweak that. That's my day-to-day work. I come in, I check my numbers. How's this working? Maybe I should change this email. Maybe I should change that email. And then that system is bringing in customers to my blog, which is then getting some of them to opt in, which is then getting some of them through the email series to buy and then to upsell. And all of that is happening without me needing to be there. The one thing that we do is I like to produce one high quality weekly newsletter that curates information. It's a very useful newsletter. Some people, they stay subscribed to that, whether they've never bought anything at all, because they just like it. I think of it as a product itself. And so that weekly email goes out on time. I don't send promotions to it. It's its own separate list.
So people don't unsubscribe from it.
Right. I want them on there. And the only promotion is that at the top of the email, it says, here's our latest class. And then it goes into the email, which is like, here's the 7 best articles I found. So for us, that's 3 business articles. 3 advertising related articles, 3 advertising, and then free traffic. So paid traffic, free traffic. And then we have 1 article in the middle that's like business systems. It's about hiring or management or leadership or something that helped you build your business. So that's our weekly newsletter that people come to, and we summarize the articles, and then they can click to read the whole article. So that's our emailing system. And then I'll tell you a little bit more how we do our email promotions. So that right there, they come in,
Broadcast email.
they come in for free. There's an autoresponder. For me, that's like a 7-day autoresponder sequence.
I actually talk about it later.
Okay. Then we leave them alone. There's just a weekly broadcast that is our weekly newsletter where we're curating stuff, and it has that thing in there. And then once a month, we do a 5 email promotion, and we'll get into that in another part here. One more question, then we'll keep moving.
How do you stop people from just sharing their credentials?
So there is software out there to help you do that. Some of the platforms allow you to check IPs, how many IP addresses. The thing is like, the more you try to fight this, like the more clever that they get. Like if you are blocking IP addresses, they can just use a VPN. If you block their email address, they can just go make another email address. So when it made sense, deeper into AdSkills life, we hired a company called DMCA Force, and there was another one, Czar or something.
I can't remember off the top of my head. It'll come to me.
But that's what they do, is they check and make sure that your stuff isn't getting pirated. If it is, they go after them. They do all the threats, the legal stuff, and they take care of all that for me. And then the other thing that we would do is we would once a month, just have our assistant log in there. So we have all of our customers' emails, and then we'd have all the emails that have signed up, right? And so we would just go through and check against our customer emails who is signed in here. And if there was extra logins, then we would just terminate those accounts and then we would tell every customer, if you are caught sharing your password, your account will be terminated
Without refund.
without warning. Like if you do this, you're done. You're cut off. You're stealing from us. And so you're done. So
Also, the
a threat with a process.
Yeah, the freemium model really eliminates that in the beginning, because like in our onboarding for the freemium model is always like, hey, courses are better with a friend. Go invite your friends to join you. It's free, right? And so like we're getting them to go get their friends invited into this course with them. And so like they're already sharing, and then naturally those friends are just buying independently. But I mean, there are times when people share it, you're not going to get around it.
You're never going to get around it.
I mean, even Netflix is fighting it, right? Like it's a problem they're encountering, and they're having to build completely different systems where it's like, what is your household? Who's in your household? You have too many downloads across your devices. So like they're limiting it in other ways.
The good news is it's a very small percentage. It's like
It really is.
3%, 5% of your customers are actually doing that. In general, people are good people. People are honest. They're doing the right thing. You have a small percentage. That's why Netflix never cared about it prior. They only care about it now because they're trying to squeeze every little last bit to please the stockholders,
Right.
But they didn't. They let you share galore earlier, I was like the only one who paid for Netflix in my whole family. We had like our whole family. I didn't say that. Delete that. Okay, so the AdSkills funnel. All right, so we had Academy, that was our free level, and then they went into Core, and then from Core we sold workshops, and then there's certification, and so that was our primary upsells. Now there's other things that you can do, and we'll get into the 7 different types of upsells in a little bit here, but that was our funnel. And so mainly, and this is not the funnel slide that I think you should screenshot. It's just telling you AdSkills funnel. So free into our paid version. And then once a quarter, we did a workshop, and then we always had a certification available that they could buy. And so it's like you could come in for free and watch some things, learn the fundamentals. And then if you want to be better, if you want to sharpen your skills in all these different areas, go ahead and sign up for core. That way you can have access to more classes. And then if you want to join one of our workshops that we're doing, you could join one of those each quarter. We would sell those for $249 usually. And we would do just like this, 6 hours.
Whole days.
Yeah, whole days. And then the certification, we sold that for $2,500.
And we called that pro, but like that's when you wanted to take your media buying skills and turn it into a profession. That's how it got to pro. So
Yeah. So most of you would have free, then you have your main membership, and then you have your whatever you
Elite,
want to call it,
gold.
pro, gold, elite. And those are your people who are wanting to take it from hobby or trade to turning it into a business. And then you teach them, basic business principles.